Well, good morning, everybody. It's Friday morning, and it's time for our morning devotional. And our morning devotional this morning is entitled, Get Yourself Healed. And our devotional verse is one that we use quite a bit and we love to quote, and that's going to be 2 Chronicles chapter 7, verse 14. If my people who are called by my name humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, then I will hear from heaven and I will forgive their sin and heal their land. You know, this is going to sound a little rough this morning, and I don't mean it to sound that way, but this is one of those verses that I don't think we don't get the application of it nailed exactly right. You know, because one of the things that's common to the human race is that when things go wrong, we like to foist the responsibility for it on anybody but ourselves. You know, if you recall, Eve blamed the serpent, Adam blamed Eve, and Adam blamed Eve, and then he even tried to blame God. You know, employees blamed their bosses, bosses blamed the workforce, husbands blame wives, and wives blame husbands. The truth is, we rarely think we're part of the problem, and our solution usually involves the other guys working out their problems. Now some of you may be saying, well, what's that got to do with the verse we're talking about today? I'm about to tell it, and as I said, it may seem a little harsh, and I don't intend it to be that way, but sometimes the truth can be painful. When we look at this, our devotional verse, the first thing we've got to understand clearly is that the passage above is not written for our country. That message was from God to King Solomon and was intended for the nation of Israel, with whom God had a covenant relationship. Friends, I love this country, and it's the best country in the world, but I will tell you that God does not have a covenant relationship with our country. God has no national relationship with the United States of America. And here's the unpleasant part. You know, I think sometimes we repeat this prayer and we repeat this verse, and what we want is for the politicians, the rest of the country, and the other people to straighten up and fly right. If those guys would just stop all that nasty sin, then God would restore our country to its former glory. Now, having said all that, is there an application in this verse for today? Well, of course there is. If God inspired our writer to write it down for us, then there's a meaning for us today. Friends, this country is never going to be changed from the top down. No government, no politician is ever going to make this country right. Only Jesus can do that. And Jesus changes individuals through the sacrifice that he made on the cross of Calvary. When Jesus saves you, he changes you. The application is for each of us individually. If we pray, seek his face, and turn from our wicked ways, he will heal us. That means me, and that means you. Do you want this country to change? Let the power of Jesus change you, and then tell the glorious news of the gospel to anyone you can find. Jesus will change them, and like ripples on a pond, the waves of change will spread outward. If you just sit there and wait for them to change, then nothing ever will change. The only question for this morning is, what are you going to do about it? Have a blessed day in the Lord, my friends.